it's very interesting how they're all running down to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring. And, you know, Trump's having some fun with this. Trump just totally humiliated Justin Trudeau. You know, the guy up in Canada who runs the show there. He went down to Mar-a-Lago and, you know, he's getting some heat from Donald Trump about this border thing, right? Because the border's a problem, both on the northern side and on the southern side. I lived right next to it in New Hampshire. We border Canada. There are a lot of French speakers that would come down, but apparently they're having trouble with all kinds of people coming down. And this is what Donald Trump is so upset about. It's not to the same extent, obviously, as Mexico is, but it's still a problem because it's a weak entry point. And he's saying, listen, Justin, you gotta get a handle on this. If you don't get a handle on this, I'm putting 25% tariffs on all of you. And so Justin Trudeau, after hearing this, flew down to Mar-a-Lago to have this dinner. And apparently, the president-elect completely humiliated him because he told him, he's like, Trump, we can't survive. If you put 25% tariffs on Canada, like, we're not going to make it. We financially can't handle that. And he said, well, gosh, then maybe we should just take you over, right? Maybe you just become the 51st state in the United States of America. We'll welcome you. We'll take you in. And, well, he didn't appreciate that. Here we go.
And tonight we're getting some new details about that Trump-Trudeau dinner from two people who were at the table. We are told that when Trudeau told President-elect Trump that new tariffs would kill the Canadian economy, Trump joked to him that if Canada can't survive without ripping off the U.S. to the tune of $100 billion a year, then maybe Canada should become the 51st state and Trudeau could become its governor. Right.
How do you like that? You know, the only problem is Canada's really liberal. I mean, really, really. Kamala grew up there, right? In the French-speaking town of Montreal. So they're really liberal, which means that might be kind of a problem. I mean, we don't necessarily want them, right? But I get a kick out of the whole thing. Listen, Trudeau's taking these threats pretty seriously. Here he is reacting to the news of the threat of 25% tariffs. He called Donald Trump immediately, promised cooperation on the border. Here he is moments after that call.
Bonjour tout le monde. I had a good call with Donald Trump last night again. We obviously talked about laying out the facts, talking about how the intense and effective connections between our two countries flow back and forth. We talked about some of the challenges that we can work on together. It was a good call. This is something that we can do, laying out the facts, moving forward in constructive ways. This is a relationship that we know takes a certain amount of working on, and that's what we'll do. One of the really important things is that we be all pulling together on this. The Team Canada approach is what works. That's where, putting aside partisanship, that's where I reached out immediately to Doug Ford to agree with him that we would have a First Ministers meeting this week to talk about the United States, talked with François Legault and some other premiers as well. There's work to do, but we know how to do it. J'ai eu un bon appel avec Donald Trump.
Okay, and then he flips into French. Okay, so in other words, they're paying attention. And you know what? Mexico's paying attention too, a little bit, because, you know, Mexico has suddenly realized that it's going to be a problem for them as well. So it turns out that Claudia Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, has just broken up two caravans that were headed straight for our border.